welcome to this playlist on real application clusters and grid infrastructure concepts. In this playlist, you will get to know about what is real application clusters, how does it work, why at all an application should have an RAC environment, etc. To begin with, first I want you to understand what is a cluster and why do you need one. Assuming you have a standalone database, a situation where there is a database with an instance running. For whatever reason, if the instance crashes or if the node on which the instance is running, which we can call as the operating system or the host, goes down, then the applications that are accessing that database have lost the connectivity to the database. Actually, they have lost connectivity to the instance and thereby they have lost connectivity to the database. Why would you want that not to happen? When you're looking at applications which need to be up 99% and above, we need to have a situation where we can tolerate such problems, which is otherwise called as high availability. High availability within a data center can be implemented using real application clusters. The second benefit that we get with a cluster is the ability to scale up. If I had a single instance, which means I had a certain amount of memory and CPU resources available, I can do a certain amount of work. But what if I have work more than how much my current resources can do? I would have to scale up the ability to do more work. I have a couple of choices. Number one, I can increase the hardware availability on that single instance, meaning I have to upgrade the hardware or move into a new hardware which gives more resources, or create a cluster where there are multiple nodes which work together as a single system through which each node or each host or each instance can perform workloads parallelly and thereby increase the throughput. Throughput meaning the amount of work that they complete. So two primary benefits or two primary needs with which you go into an RAC implementation is, number one, the need for high availability, and number two, the need for scalability. So what is a cluster? A group of nodes which together work as a single system. RAC is the implementation of databases running in a cluster. The underlying foundation with which Oracle implements this is using something called as Clusterware, which is part of a software installation called Grid Infrastructure. Before we move into the details about how Oracle implements clustering, let's first understand two major ways in which clustering can be implemented. One is where we have a shared everything architecture, which is what Oracle implements, and the other is shared nothing architecture. I'll just spend a couple of minutes here to tell you what is a shared nothing architecture, wherein the database might be split into partitions and each partition resides in separate nodes, and when a query is executed, depending on which data is present in which node, the workload is distributed. This is implemented by certain databases. But what Oracle implements is a shared everything architecture. In the case of a shared everything architecture, the entire database is available for all nodes in a cluster to access and work with, which means each node need not know whether it has got only a certain amount of data to work with. All the data as part of the database is available for all nodes which are part of the cluster, which is called as a shared everything architecture. There are certain important things that you need to know before we go into the concepts of how Oracle implements clustering. I'm just going to list what all you will encounter in this playlist to learn, so that this video gives you a brief overview about what is coming up in this playlist. Number one, shared storage. The very fact that multiple nodes are going to access the same database, the database, which is a collection of files, should be available in a shared storage so that all the instances can access it. So we'll discuss about that in detail. Clusterware, the software that manages the cluster. Since we're going to have multiple nodes which together work as a single system, we need a software which would be available for us to administer the cluster as well as the cluster to manage itself. This software from Oracle is called as Clusterware. The clusterware would have to identify which nodes can be part of the cluster, which nodes have to be evicted. We will later on get into another video in which we'll talk about what is node eviction, when does it happen, how does it happen, etc. Then there are some important networking concepts. By default, we all know a host has an IP address associated. The idea behind an IP address is computers can talk in the form of binary, in the form of IP addresses, whereas we, human beings, instead of IP addresses, we can actually remember host names. So there comes the need for what is called as a DNS, domain naming service, wherein when you go and visit a website, for example, you go and type the URL with the website name. But what a computer understands is the IP address. So the purpose of a DNS is to translate between IP addresses and host names. Similarly, in a network, when you have multiple computers, you and I as human beings might be better off to remember host names and not IP addresses, whereas the computers don't really bother about the host names, they work at an IP address level. So every host has a host name and IP address to identify itself at an operating system level. But beyond that, when it comes to clustering, there are some virtual IP addresses and virtual host names that come up which are managed by the clusterware. We will discuss about that. Since we have a group of nodes which form a cluster, there becomes a necessity to enable them to communicate in a fast network environment. For this purpose, Oracle clustering has something called as an interconnect, otherwise called as a private network, in which the instances talk to each other. We will talk about that in detail also. Apart from VIPs, there is also the concept of SCAN, which is otherwise called as single client access name, GNS, grid naming service, which were all introduced in 11G release 2. We need to understand this to understand and appreciate how the whole clustering works. And before you can understand about SCAN, there is another important feature that was introduced in 11G release 2, and it is available all the way till 12C release 2 also, is the concept of server pools. So we will have to understand all these terms. The other important piece that you need to know is the concept of services. Generally, when you connect to a database from a client, we say we need to give the host name, IP address, whichever one you want, plus the port where the listener is running, and lastly, the instance name or database name. But the fact that you have a cluster, there is a need to use a different mechanism of connecting to databases, which is using services. And services is the underlying foundation with which high availability is implemented, and it has got a lot more benefits. It gives you a very good dimension to performance monitoring and tuning. It also is the basis for high availability in an RAC or data guard kind of an environment. So we will understand about how services work in an Oracle database. Of course, given the fact that there are multiple nodes and it's a shared everything architecture, there should be some control through which nodes can access various components. This is managed by a global resource directory, which is made up of the global NQ services and global cache services. We will look into this in detail in another video. With these additional directories coming into place, we need additional processes which need to ensure these resource directories are managed effectively. That's where you have processes like LMON, LMD, LMS, etc. coming into play, and we will look into them. Lastly but not least, we will have new parameters that come into play when we work in an RAC environment, and changes in the way redo logs and undo table space are used in that environment. This is in a nutshell about the list of things one needs to understand to appreciate how an RAC environment works. One thing you need to remember here is, just because you want high availability and scalability, converting a single instance into an RAC may not solve the problem. There are various things that we need to take care, which also we will take care in this playlist in videos that come up. Enjoy learning about real application clusters and grid infrastructure.